A man who doesn't cry physically will cry in a different way. How are we doing today? It's been a while. It's been a long time coming. I'm glad I'm back. I'm glad you're listening. Thanks for taking a chance on me, by the way. The first video I actually intended to upload, I was trying to navigate it in a way where I would upload it and would be on a day where I was going mentally insane. Like I wasn't at a good point mentally in my life. I was very confused. Some might call it an existential crisis, but I've been lagging as far as editing that video and getting up here. And I thought that was just because, hey, maybe I'm not motivated. Maybe I'm just procrastinating. Whatever it might be, there's something hindering me from uploading and editing this video. And then self-awareness in the back of my head was like, okay, this just isn't a good video. It was actually kind of corny. Now, like I said, the original video would have been about how nothing in life is perfect and nothing is how it seems, especially on the internet or social media, because everybody is portrayed in their best light. It's not too many flaws that you'll see. And then, like in the video, I had a whole bunch of shit around me. I was emphasizing how my room was messy, how like portraits literally falling down from behind me in my background, and thought it was going to be a cool angle I could play in a video. But within, I think, in about a month, within that month, I recorded that. I kept on going back and forth. I was like, there is something I don't like about this video. Yes, it's real to me, but as I rewatch it over and over, it just sounds like a convenient excuse not to put my best foot forward towards the thing I want to do. And at first, I had a lot of trouble trying to process this. I was like,
No, that can't be it. Because I have main character syndrome, so I can't do any wrong, right?
I had my character development. I realized I could do wrong. I realized I won't be in a perfect light. And not every video is going to be a good video. Never really occurred to me how, when I was talking about what I was talking about, it was just a big ass excuse. It was me trying to excuse myself from putting my best foot forward. I wanted to be okay with being subpar because that is pretty much the norm, right? Or at least that was the agenda I was pushing in that video. Something like this always takes a long time to grasp. There's this interesting thing where you realize that this is everybody's first time being on Earth, right? And I'm 20. Although it might not look like it, I won't get into that conversation today, but I am 20. So there is still a lot I am learning about myself. This would count. This should go as a learning moment, and I think this could teach you guys a valuable lesson as well. Just because things aren't going to be perfect, just because life isn't going to be pretty, doesn't mean you shouldn't try to put your best foot forward. Because there was this interesting quote that I seen. A man who doesn't cry physically will cry in a different way. He will cry in a way that leaks into different facets of his life. So, for example, he doesn't physically cry on his own, right? He might do that at the workplace. So now it's messing up his finances. Or he might take it out on some family that love and care about him. He'll cry by putting things in his body. So therefore, a cry for help from a physical standpoint. My monitor just shut off. Is it still recording? It just shut off. That's so weird, right? But I think you get what I'm saying. Now, I didn't cry when I made this video, but don't get it twisted. I was super close because I'm so confused. This life shit is very confusing. I wanted to break down. That video, I damn near broke down. And that's normal. I was trying too hard, if you will. Like I was trying too hard to try to paint this picture perfect aesthetic of not being perfect. And that's never been me. So I'm wondering, where did that come from? Why did I feel the need to do that? Again, this comes back to the self-awareness, because if I didn't have a hint of the self-awareness that I have now, I wouldn't be asking myself these questions. I would have just uploaded the video as usual, do what it do, just go back to work, right? No, I had to get something from this. I had to learn a valuable lesson from this because I believe everything happens for a reason. Around this time, I've been learning really how to practice what I preach. I've been doing that a lot, but as of recently, with all these new responsibilities stacking upon me, all these things I have to tend to now, um, it's been a little harder to do that. But I still do it for the most part, right? But one of the things that I was slipping on, consistency as far as the YouTube realm. I always preach do it even when you do want to do it or even when you don't. And it's cool, it sounds good to say that, but if you look at my YouTube, posts are very inconsistent. And I hate that for me. And I hate that for me. I do so much work outside of this, right? And I usually like to stay consistent within it. But when it came to this, I was never consistent. I was like, why is that? I'd love to be big on YouTube. I'd love to cultivate an audience. And then I had to have an even more difficult conversation. Do I really want this? And after I talked to myself about that, unfortunately, the answer led to no, because obviously my actions contradict if I did want it. Because I would have had way more consistent uploads, you know. I would have been a lot faster with the edits, but life has a weird way of answering our own questions. And for me, that was just a bit of self reflection. Now, this is still something I want to do. So it's not like I'm quitting YouTube. I don't even have a name made for myself yet for this, right? But some shit has to change. The consistency on this channel needs to get better. Any consistency would be good because it's better than nothing, right? What made me come to this realization is I always talk about how your resolve needs to be your resolve needs to overwhelm your excuses. Your purpose needs to outshine your excuses. Making a YouTube video, obviously, I was making countless amount of excuses to get it done. So much so to the point where it's been, I'm pretty sure, almost more than a month, maybe just shy of a month of uploading. I have no idea. My excuses won in the battle of my purpose or my resolve. One of the things that I love doing is creating content. I love trying to make a difference to the world through content, you know? And it's like I've been doing the opposite by not uploading on YouTube. Even though I do most of my work through TikTok, we all know that shit isn't going to last forever. Let's be honest. We're not oblivious here, right? So that got me thinking, if I can't even keep the consistency on something as simple as this, did I really want it? And in my head, I'm like, yes, 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 I do. But looking at my actions, it seems the opposite. And I didn't like that. That didn't sit well with me. So with that must come a change. Because I can sit here and complain and cry about how I don't like how things are right now. But that won't do shit. It won't do anything at all. At first, it was a little rough talking about this on camera because obviously everybody wants to paint themselves in the best light possible. But this is real. Self awareness and self discovery is the only way you can get what you want in this world. So you have to be aware of your flaws. Everybody knows their strengths, but nobody wants to acknowledge their flaws. And depending on how you angle your flaws, you can get better with your strengths. You know what I'm saying? Like for me, let's get a little specific. I'm not gonna get crazy detailed, but I'd say sometimes my weakness would be if my heart isn't into it, I'm not the most consistent with something. Okay? I don't feel like putting my energy towards it. Versus where I'm really, when I love something, I am infatuated with it. I am obsessed. I will not give myself time to rest because I'm too busy doing whatever that thing is, right? So it's almost like an all or nothing kind of deal, and that's not the worst thing in the world, but it definitely can be better. So, how would I angle something like this? Knowing my weakness is be obsessed with something to get it done and get it done right so I can outshine everybody else. How would I start doing the things that I hate or I'm not in love with? To be transparent, I don't have a full answer for you. I'm still figuring that out. But what's been working so far is just sitting down and doing the work, just getting it done. Crazy enough, that's what I'm doing now. Right? I love the process of making content. I think it's a privilege. You know how many other people wish they could do shit like this? I don't know the exact number, but I know it's a lot. When you force yourself to do something for so long, whether you love it or hate it, you're gonna grow an attachment to it. And once you grow an attachment to something, it's hard to let it go, of course. But this is just a rough draft of how I'm going to solve my problems. My problems won't be the same as your problems. Everybody's problems are unique in a sense, unique to them, you know? But even with all of that said and all that stressing I did, the damn near mental breakdowns and the existential crisis, I still feel as if everything is going to be all right. I don't know why either. I think it's because we showed up. You had a good day, you show up. You have a bad day, you show up. You're gonna get the shit done no matter what. It's always a good day. It is always a good day as long as you wake up and you're breathing. Thank you for taking the time to listen. If you made it this far, I appreciate you way more than you know. Shout out to anybody who woke up today. Rest in peace to those that couldn't. You guys have a great rest of your night. Stay strong. Seriously. Let's be something bigger than what we see in the mirror.